Rear Commodore East William Bill Algair was one of the initiators of the Miami Search and Rescue Team, which prior to the National Boat Crew Qualification Program was the only operational training program available to Group Miami in Division 6. He exemplified the integrity, honesty, dedication, and extreme operational skills that make one feel proud to belong to a family like the Coast Guard Auxiliary. In order to honor his memory, Division 6 has instituted the Bill Algair Operational Memorial Award. The criteria to earn this award shall be as follows. Coxswain, PWC operator and/or crew member, while engaged in surface operations, who has maintained skills and proficiency in seamanship and search and rescue techniques to the extent that when an unusual or out of the ordinary situation develops, is prepared and takes the necessary and proper action in the performance of an assistance or rescue. For year 2014, the William Bill Algair Operational Memorial Award goes to Coxswain, Eric Jones, and the crew of Chris Cohan, Abelardo Luis Lopez de Querate, John Cleese, and Alfredo Nardi. And this is what the award is for. On Sunday, November 16, 2014, crew members on the 31-foot Auxiliary Facility HOWDY were heading north up the intercoastal waterway to haul over via Malloy Channel. As they passed under the Julia Tuttle Bridge, they noticed 3 kayaks drifting on the east side of the channel. 2 kayaks appeared to have 3 persons on board, and a third kayak was drifting about 75 yards away from the occupied kayaks. As they observed the kayaks, several vessels passed between them and the occupied kayaks. None of the kayakers attempted to hail any of the passing vessels. One kayak was floating down by the stern and perpendicular to the current. As they approached the single kayak, they could see a person in the water holding onto the stern of the kayak. As the coxswain pulled alongside, they reached out with the boat hook, and the person in the water grabbed the boat hook and was brought to the ladder on the platform. He did not speak English or Spanish. The recovered victim was frantically pointing at the other 2 kayaks that were now drifting about 75 yards away. As they could see the utter fear on the face of a female in the water between the 2 kayaks, she was too weak to hold herself up, and the 3 who were still in the kayaks were desperately struggling to hold her up, even though she was wearing a PFD. For some reason, it was not holding her head above the water. As she was too weak to climb the ladder, 2 crew members lifted her onto the dive platform. The crew got her into the boat and quickly wrapped her in several towels, as the first recovered person in the water spoke to her in Pakistani. The crew learned that the 2 had fallen out of the kayak when they were hit by a wave from a passing boat, and they had been in the water, unable to remount the kayak for well over a half hour. They learned that 4 of the 5 were non-swimmers, including both persons in the water. Even though all wore their PFDs, none were worn properly, as none of the straps on any of the PFDs were tightened, and the one PFD was way too large for the female that was in the water. She was wearing an adult-sized PFD, but due to her diminutive size, well under 5 feet and under 100 pounds, it did not support her properly as she was falling through the PFD. She refused and declined medical assistance. Eric Jones Coxswain notified the station that they had 5 additional persons on board and all were transported to the kayak rental center. Outcome of the case, 5 persons saved. Now, I believe that Abelardo and Alfredo each picked up their particular awards, so this one is going to Eric. William Bill Algair 2014 Operational Memorial Award presented to Eric Jones, Chris Cohan, Abe Lopez de Querate, John Cleese, Alfredo Nardi for demonstrated excellence utilizing operational skills and proficiency combined with integrity and dedication, awarded January 11th, 2015 by Bill Tejero and Roger Kidder.